Okay, so I'm at my laptop now and I will start reading some posts. Yeah, some aren't really questions, just people want to write something nice after they have watched my video. For instance, here, your video is so good, your editing and production must be a lot of work. Yes, it really is. I appreciate the post. This video did their company a big favor. I hope yours is free. No, I paid for the Artme3D all by myself for the MK1. But since I recorded the videos where I talked about everything regarding the extruder, David Pfeiffer, he was very helpful to send me some spare parts, and he was always there for me, answering lots of questions that I had. And yeah, there was a time when I told him, yeah, stop now, you have sent me we're so nice, you have sent me some spare parts, it's okay for me. In the future I want to pay for what you sent me in the future. And yeah, then seems like a lot of work when you consider the price. I think it's just too much money to justify. I can buy a whole lot of spools of filament for the price that the extruder costs, plus shipping. Yeah, I already said before, it's, yeah, you must know if it's for you or not. Of course, if I would have to sell the filament that I create, I would have to take a lot of money. But I'm all into recycling, and it's not about the money, it's just for the recycling purpose. I want to tinker with that, I want to explore it. It's lots of fun, and we are also collecting other plastic sorts like PP, PE, HDPE, and we're shredding it and injection molding it. So it's just about recycling, and it is for you or it's not, so it's your own decision. Yeah, it's the same decision when you are doing multicolor printing. Have you ever thought about all the wasted filament that you're throwing away? And people say it's not for me, and other people say I don't care. So yeah, you have to find out where you are at, or what makes you happy. No, I don't want to recycle. So then another post, hey cat, I just got mine, building it. This does take a while to build, slowly getting it together, but I'm using your video also as an instruction guide. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess in the meantime he's already extruding, because that was 6 months ago. And I will try to get in touch with some of the people that really have built one, and like for exchange. Maybe in the future it would be even nice to have like a Facebook group or something like that, where we can exchange each other, or Discord, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I have time to monitor that, but if other people are watching this video that also have a Artme3D and say, oh, that would be cool, then maybe we could do that as a group. Yeah. Okay, so 10 months ago, the price that it costs right now, plus you must shred the old filament, which is more equipment. Blender or shredder doesn't last long doing this. Yeah, the shredder does last. If something happens to the shredder, I can buy new blades, so that's not a problem. And then you have to dry it, and that's before the failure starts. My question is, how much printing do you do? One would have to use hundreds of reels to make it financially viable option, and that doesn't take into account the hundreds of hours actually doing it, not including failures. I'm at a point now where I don't really constantly have to babysit my extruder. As you see, I'm talking into the camera now, and behind me the extruder is doing its thing. You can hear it. It's that funny sound of the slipping winder, which has to be like that. I didn't understand it from the beginning, but now I know that it has to do that. And yeah, as I said before in the other video in the beginning, you have to really work clean. It's all about the recycling. I don't want to sell my filament. You know, I already answered the question before in this video here. Yeah, I had lots of failures, but that was my learning curve, and from now on, I guess I will be much more successful. I even think that I can start producing the filament at a faster pace, because you can ramp up the extrusion speed and the temperature and everything, and then you can produce the filament much quicker. And yeah, this is what I want. I want to use it, and we're going to use it here internally at the makerspace. And if a friend wants to donate me something, of course I cannot sell it for 20 euro or something. Maybe I ask for 20 euro, and then you give a donation on top, because the ones that have watched this video, they have the understanding that I cannot make it like a company that does this full time, you know, with a very expensive equipment. My production is much slower, so then they will have to know what they wanted to donate on top, you know, and I can also sell a filament roll to them. Then one person asked me, could you make some more videos on about the Artme3D? Yes, I will. Excuse me that I paused for such a long time. Then another one asked or wrote, mine is almost done. Now finding pellets is the hard part. So you see, there's a user, he decided not to use waste material, he wants to use virgin material. I don't know where he's from. As I already said in the beginning, you could look on Artme3D webpage, or you could look on Alibaba or AliExpress, or you could also use eBay, I guess, yeah? Because eBay, I also found some pellets. That could be a good source. Thank you very much for your demonstration. In your experience with this system, how accurate is the size of the filament? So I just watched the little dial thing, and today I'm constantly producing filament with a diameter of 1.75. I'm really happy that it's so accurate, but this is now with the virgin material. And in the beginning, when I was fine-tuning it, it dropped down to 1.65 and 1.8. But now, as I have fine-dialed it, it is really constant, producing 1.75. But even with the uneven extrusion, I have printed stuff. Let me go and grab something. So this was from the spool that I showed you before. This was the PET-G, and this is very uneven. And the green in there is not constant. This is why you see some change of color in there. Can you see it? Slightly change of the hue. But you don't see any change of the diameter, really not. I'm really astonished that it works so well. Also here. This, what you see there, is just the shift of color slightly appearing, but you don't see any change in the diameter. So yeah, I will have to test in the future some functional parts and see how those come out, but for what I have printed up to now, it really is perfect, absolutely perfect. 1 month ago I was asked, I want to know the specifications of the used NEMA 17 motor. You know, there's a version that uses a NEMA 17 motor because if you buy the hardware entirely from David, your parcel gets heavier, and then depending where you are living, the tax rate and the shipping gets more expensive. So you can also use this NEMA 17 motor, and then you download the files that you have to use to build the extruder with that motor. But if you want to know more about this NEMA 17 motor, I would kindly ask you to contact David directly. He will give you the information what you can use and what you shouldn't use. Now, I got the one where the motor was included. When you go to his website, you will see it's a very beefy motor, and it's not a NEMA 17. It's from Stepper Online. It's a German, I guess, a German company, and there you don't have to use the extra parts that you have to use when you use the NEMA 17. This is a stronger motor. This is why the kit is also more expensive. No? 3 months ago I was asked, how do you keep your filament diameter right? Mine keeps flexing a lot. Yeah, this is what I wrote. Maybe he is using shredded material from different sources. So I guess he also gets these blobs that I've showed you before. And there I also had lots of different diameters, and that was driving me crazy. And not only did I have these blobs, but also the diameter was a big problem. And I don't know if you can see it. It looks very strange. Yeah, like poops. You know, it gets like not even blobs, but it also has like indentations in there. I guess this is where filament particles go through that have a much higher melting temperature. They somehow get pressed through, but it looks very uneven. Somebody wrote already 1 year ago, this is awesome. I would really love to know if this filament can be used in a printer such as a Bamboo, Lab, P1S, P1P, or S1 Carbon. I would like to print using this filament, but in high speed. I'm not sure if that would be possible. Have you tried printing at higher speeds? I can give it a try, no problem. I haven't done this yet, but I don't have a Bamboo, but I have a Kitty Smart 3, X Smart 3. It's, you know, it's a smaller enclosed one. I could give it a try. I can do it with both the PETG and the virgin one that I have printed. So that would be PETG and PLA. Yeah. For the PLA, the recycled PLA one, please be patient. I will have to first have enough really clean material that I really know that will work, and that I can successfully extrude. And then when I produce filament with that will be the first thing that I will try, because I'm also interested. So another question was which screw do I have to order? The extrusion screw, because they have a high compression one, which I am working now with, and they have one with a low compression. So the low compression you use with virgin materials, but as I was I was fed up always taking the extruder apart, and I just wanted to keep my screw in there. I decided to give it a try with a high compression one that I was using before with a recycled material, and I asked David if that would work, and he told me, because I ordered the raw material, you know, here the pellets that I ordered, those are from Ingeo, because he has two different sorts on his webpage. He has the Ingeo and the Mimesis, yeah, and the, let me see, hopefully I'm saying it right. No, excuse me, he has the PLA pellets Ingeo, and then from the PLA side, he only has Ingeo, but they're two different sorts. So the one that I bought is the 43D. So that one you can use with a high compression. And there are also pellets Ingeo 2003D. Maybe there you would have to use the low compression one. And all the other ones you would have to ask. There you would have to use the low compression. But the Ingeo 40 or 4043, that works also with a high compression. Yeah, I was too lazy to exchange, you know. And yeah, but I would really recommend you to buy both, because then you have the freedom to use whatever you want and you don't run into problems. Then, as the viewers, from Germany, they hear that I have a German accent when I speak English, so some of them contact me right away in German. And there's one guy, he says, thank you for the video. He also wants to buy Artme3D Filament Extruder, and he has some questions. What material did you use for printing the parts? Because when you buy the kit, you only get the hardware, and you print all the plastic parts on the extruder. You print by yourself. The good thing is that you always can use the latest version, because David, once in a while, he upgrades things, and then you can just go to printables and download the parts and print them by yourself. I decided to print the entire stuff with a PETG material, and yeah, and of course you can also use the color that you like. Yeah. And you don't spend so much money for the order because of the weight and the taxes. Yeah. Then one question was, which power supply am I using? In the beginning I used a cheap one. I don't know which company it came from, but then David, he suggested trying a better one. So now I have a Meanwell. It's a trusted brand. You can also find them in well-known 3D printers. They're also equipped with those. But please contact David. He will give you some suggestions which one would work and which one you shouldn't use. Yeah, put your money into a better one, you know, so don't try to save money on the power supply. And there was a question which blender I was using. I would not really recommend this if you are shredding a lot, because it will wear over time. I used here the KitchenAid, and what is also very important is that you have a glass jar, not a plastic jar. And here on this one, I can take off the lower part by unscrewing it, and then you can buy the blades extra again, you know, so, you know, because the bottom part here is also plastic, and once this wears out, I could buy replacements. Unfortunately, this exact model here is discontinued, and I would have to buy I would have to source, and I would have to try to get a replacement soon, because at the moment this red isn't even available anymore, only random colors. So I could at least use this again in the future for the original purpose, because I'm not going to use this for shredding plastic anymore. But for small batches it's okay. I would really recommend you, if you are really diving into this extrusion thing as passionate as I am, I would really recommend you to buy a shredder. Yeah. And you can go to the Precious Plastic website. There they have kits, or yeah, you can try to build one by yourself, and try not to use one with a hand crank. That will not work. You could watch a video that Stefan Hermann created where he tries to shred by hand. I think he gave it up very quickly. And then if you're in the US, you are lucky, because then you can buy one from Polystruder, the one that I have. It's really good. And in Europe, I would have to test if there's a company that creates one that is not too expensive, because you cannot use those with the thicker blades, because then the particles that come out are still too big. That was the problem that I had with the big shredder. You know, the particles, they were between, I don't know, 6 and 8 millimeters thick, and then, you know, the thinner the blades are, the smaller the particles are that come out. Of course, you have to reshred 3 or 4 times, because sometimes longer parts slip through, but you get to an even grain size very quickly. Then another question is, if you go around, is, I don't know if you can see me, what kind of fume it produces or smell. It smells just the same as if you are 3D printing. And if you are not quite sure, you could set a extractor, you know, a fume extractor next to it, and extract it out of the window. I just keep my room ventilated thoroughly, so everything's okay. So somebody writes, so incredible, how long does it take to make 1 kilogram of consumables? Yeah, it should be between 3 and 7 hours, depending on how quick you extrude. I will have to really start the stopwatch, you know, to find out how long it really takes. I guess as I pumped up the extrusion speed, I will maybe have like 4 hours. Yeah, I don't want to pump it up to the max. For me, it's okay. I'm in the makerspace here lots of hours anyway, and yeah, for me the speed is not so important. The quality is for me important, you know. And yeah, so therefore it would be really nice to have a group where we can exchange each other, because it would be very interesting to hear what others say regarding that, how fast, or yeah, how fast they are extruding and what output they have. Is it possible to shred plastic bottles in order to make filament? You know, therefore, you know, to make that, I have this PET bottle filament extruder, the PET bot. Lots of different companies have made one in the meantime, or there are lots of kits that you can make by yourself. If you have played around with one of those, then you would already know the answer. Because PET without the G, without glycol, it has to be extruded or pull extruded at a very narrow temperature window. Because if it's too low, it simply will not go through the nozzle. And if it's too high, it will crystallize to a point where it is hard like a rock. And I had it lots of times that I pumped up the temperature with the pull extrusion too much, and then let it clog inside the nozzle. Also when I try to print with it. When you have your 3D printer program dialed in exactly, and your printer does not go up and down when it has an even temperature, extrusion temperature, you can 3D print with PET material no problem, but if it doesn't, you will have lots of clogs. And I had that with the funny thing is I had it with a Prusa MK3S at that time, but it's funny that I didn't have it with the small printer that you saw before, you know, the Lurch. There I have a printing profile for the PET filament that I produce with the PET bot. It works perfectly. I haven't tried it with the Artme3D because the extrusion screw, as you have seen, it's very long. So it is the path that it goes through where it's heated up is very long. And the heater cartridge is only on one side of the screw. It is not all the way from the top to the bottom, you know. And as the temperature has to stay spot on, I guess you would have a clog very quickly. And if you have a clog with that long screw, you can throw the entire barrel away and the screw. So please do not try to extrude PET material from bottles. Do it with a pull extrusion using a PET bot. Yeah, that works fine. How has your experience been with this model? I'm on the fence of buying this or a well zoom. Does it come with a 1.7 millimeter nozzle when extruding? You can buy the well zoom. I have no idea how good or bad it is. Maybe somebody can tell me. So I just open up the page here because depending on what you want to extrude, you know, I'm on the Artme3D website. Then if you want to extrude PLA or PETG, then you will use the 1.7 millimeter nozzle. If you want to extrude ABS, then you will have to buy the nozzle with 1.5. And I don't know what this is here, 3D printer Blanco, then with a 1.01. I don't know. I would have to ask too. But yeah, you have to contact David if you want to extrude anything apart of PLA, PETG or ABS, then he can give you an answer. How does the machine know when the spool is full? I always use a scale where I weigh the amount of filament that I want to extrude. I use a little bit more than the 1 kilogram because in the beginning you will always have to dial in the diameter. It will take a while, and in the meantime I'm able to waste less than this. Maybe the half of it, maybe like this, until you're really happy, and then that's when you know when the kilogram is finished. Plus you have also some filament in the screw barrel. Once you're finished, when the funnel is empty, you will still have some material left there, but it's not too much. Yeah. And in the settings there is a window where you can program the cutoff. I have not tuned this yet, and then after you have reached this amount of meters, it will stop by itself. But I would have to ask David what I would have to change there to get it exact. I don't know yet. I will have to test it. But it shows on the screen how much meters you have extruded. Yeah. Another question, is it enough to use a paper shredder that you then modify to take bigger parts? And how small would the particles that you want to shred be that you could use it? And I told him, yeah, I watched some videos, but I guess that the power there is not enough. And then you could only use very skinny parts like the brims, or maybe some supports that you really break down so that they are not too thick. But I would not put any money into that. It will frustrate you very quickly. When I even say that I stopped using this one, and there of course I used thicker parts, not the brims and the supports only. But how much brims or supports do you want to collect to get a spool of filament? Yeah, what will you do with the other stuff? That will frustrate you a lot. So, as I said, you would have to source some other solutions. Some people are even creating their own kind of shredder with, I don't know, very exotic things. So, yeah, it would be very nice to have a group where we discuss that as well. Not only the extruder, but also the shredding part. Then a guy who seems to be into CNC fabrication. How can I fabricate this extruder screw by myself? Not only that you need the extrusion screw, you would also have the barrel that is in the exact diameter. And I wrote to him, please do yourself a favor and buy one from Artme3D. Yeah, I guess that will take a lot of time until you get it right. Just do yourself a favor and just get that part from him. Can this melt HDPE? I am not aware if that would work. I would have to contact David, and I don't know the melting point of HDPE at the moment. It could work. The extruder goes up to, what was that, 240, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I would have to try, but I'm not really interested. So yeah. But maybe David would be able to answer that. I guess he has tried it, or other users out there. Yeah. So let's make a group and discuss it there. One question: what is your thoughts? Hey people, please. Those are the guys that just hop in there for 1 or 2 minutes, jumping ahead, only watching a very small section of my video. If you are really interested, then watch the entire video. You can speed it up. You don't have to watch it at the normal pace. You can double the speed and then run through it quicker, but please watch a little bit more of my videos. It would do me a favor also by doing so. And leave a thumbs up. So one person is writing, the puller winder speed is not consistent. The bigger problems is not allowing the filament enough time to cool before take-up. This will cause problems with ovality, especially with polycarbonate, blah blah blah, and nylon. Great for show and tell, but definitely not for efficient production. If it works for you, great. I say this with 24 years of extrusion experience. Fine for him, yeah, but this extruder works a little bit different than his might work, because I didn't understand that in the beginning too, because this here works with a slide clutch, and I didn't know what that was before, so I really tightened the belt too much. Then I had a really big problem with the winder, and it didn't work at all until I contacted David, and he told me that it has to slip. This is what you're hearing, the sound here. I will go over to the winder. Let me see if I can this is what you hear here. It is constantly slipping here, can you see that? And it has to be that way. Yeah, otherwise when the spool gets fuller, it will not have enough tension to wind up properly. So it has to be that way. And regarding the size, when you look under the microscope, if it is really oval, I don't care. For me, if the diameter is 1.75 or a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, as I've shown you before, the parts that I print so far are really, really nice, and I don't care. I'm not selling my filament on an industrial basis. It's just hobby. And yeah, so this guy, he said that he has 24 years of experience. I guess he was doing this professional and selling the material that he has on a professional basis. And I guess that his extruder costs thousands of euro or US dollars, and mine not more than 800. One very encouraging comment was 5 months ago, "Such a cool machine, so many pounds of filament waste that I have thrown away. All I need is that and an extruder. Great video. Thank you." Thank you too. And one person which wrote in capital letters, "It's quite expensive. It's a pity I can't buy it. I'm waiting for a cheaper model. Period." Yeah, I think this is the lowest as it can get. Going even cheaper, I don't know how that should work. But yeah, if you want to change my mind regarding that, make a video about it once you have found a solution. It would be interesting to watch. Makes absolutely no sense. I ran a massive print farm and the waste was minimum. Wow, I would like to visit you so you can show me how you really have also almost no waste. Then you're really a professional. Good for you. You're crazy spending $3,000 on a shredder and then no way to turn it into filament yet? You're probably looking for another minimum $1,000 for a setup to turn it into filament. This only makes sense if you own a print farm and have ridiculously amount of waste and want to reuse it. That was a comment under the shredder. And then I wrote, "My entire solution costs about 2,800. Watch my other video about the extruder." Yeah, no more to say. And one guy wrote, "Seems very underpowered and slow." That was regarding the shredder, and I said no. The speed prevents it from softening the PLA, because if you run the shredder, no matter which brand you use, and it happened to me with a big one when I started, because the melting point of PLA, for instance, and also PETG is much lower than the other plastic sorts that I have shredded before. So I really melted the stuff, because the blades inside the shredder, if you use a high speed, they get so damn hot that you, if you don't take care, melt the filament while you're shredding, and then you end up having a big blob. And that happened to me. I clogged parts of the blades. So if you have an intelligent shredder like I have there, it is intended to be working at a lower speed, just preventing the material from getting too hot. There are temperature sensors in there that adjust the speed to the plastic it's shredding. Isn't that incredible? And for that, the price is really, really great. So, and the last question was again regarding the slipping. Looks like your spool drive is skipping. Did you ever figure how to fix it? I'm running into the same issue. You can be glad that it is happening, as I just showed you in the video when I pointed my camera on the extruder. It is supposed to slip. then you've done everything right without even knowing why it is doing that. Okay, so now I have answered all the questions that appeared under my videos when the date stamp is the 1st June 2025. All the other ones appearing afterwards I didn't cover in this video. And yeah, I could do a follow-up if there are more questions. And so, giving you a hug, sending you a kiss, and thank you for watching. Bye bye. Thank you very much for watching. It means that you have made it all the way through and you are really interested. At the moment, I only have recorded part 1 and part 2. I still have to record part 3. And depending on when you are watching the video, it might already be there. And if not, it means that you have to wait approximately 1 week, and then I will upload it. Thank you for watching.